Good morning, class. Before we start our discussion, let us first ask for the blessing and guidance of the Lord to be led by our prayer leader for today, Mr. Jericho Rosales. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Before you take your seats, kindly pick up the pieces of paper under your chairs and arrange your seats properly. Okay, once again, good morning. How are you doing today? Okay. Oh, I see. I'm glad that you are all doing good today. May I ask our class monitor who is absent today? Very good. No one is absent today. We have a perfect attendance for today. Now that we have a perfect attendance, let's have a quick review. Who can recall what is our last topic? Anyone? Yes, Miss Joyce. Very good, Miss Joyce. Last meeting we talked about the tenses. And tenses refers to the grammatic category that indicates time. It is used to indicate whether an action or event takes place in the past, present, or even in the future. More specifically, we talk about the past tense. We learned that it is a form of a verb that indicates an action or event has already happened or took place in the past. And it is usually formed by adding what? Ed, very good, to the base form of a regular verb or using a irregular verb form. What are the examples of verbs in the past? Went, ate, walked. Very good. All of those are an example of a verb in the past. Okay, very good, class. All right. Okay, before I introduce to you to our next topic, how about let's have an icebreaker first? Let's have an activity first. Will that be okay? Okay. Are you ready? Okay. So listen carefully to the instructions. By the way, the title of our activity today is What's Happening? So I will divide the class into two groups. First group will be the girls and the second group will be the boys. And each group must select a team captain. Our game's primary goal is to identify the activity or action being portrayed on the screen that I will present. Okay? So each team captain will guess and raise their hands, followed by describing the picture or the photo that I am going to show. So for instance, I will display a picture of a girl running. So the team captain will raise their hands and provide the description. Okay? And at the end of the game, the team with the most points wins. Okay? So the winner is the girls. Okay, well done everyone. Girls, you did a great job guessing and providing descriptions for the pictures that were displayed on the screen. And boys, congratulations to you as well for giving your best effort. Okay, so better luck next time. Let us continue to learn. So without further ado, let's get started. Today, class, we will talk about the present continuous tense. But before that, kindly read first our learning objectives for today. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to first identify the different usages of the present continuous tense. Second is to appreciate the importance of using the present continuous tense correctly in order to communicate effectively in English. And lastly, to demonstrate proper use of the present continuous tense by creating sentences or short story that accurately describe actions happening now, longer actions in progress, and the near future plans. Class, when you hear the word continuous or present continuous, what comes to your mind? Anyone? Yes, Mr. Jericho. Very good, Mr. Jericho. Yes, this tense is used to describe an action that's happening right now, a longer action in progress, and something happening in the near future. I know there's a lot to learn, but don't worry, I will guide you through it, okay? So let's talk about the first usage of this, okay? Usage number 1, actions happening now. The present continuous tense is used to talk about actions that are happening right now. So for example, I'm teaching English and you are studying English. Now, for us to further understand, let's take a look at some more examples. The first sentence says, he is watching a movie. We can observe that we start with the subject and a be verb in this case. So, the subject is he, okay? The subject is he. And for the words he, she, and it, we use the be verb is, okay? So, take note of that. Then you will notice I added an ing to the end of the verb, which is the word watch. That makes he is watching a movie. The next sentence says, Kenneth is sleeping in our class. He is doing that right now. As you can see, he is sleeping right there. If we try to notice, Kenneth is a he. So therefore, we use the be verb is. And again, you'll notice I added ing to the end of the verb, which is the word sleep. That makes the sentence, Kenneth is sleeping in our class. The next sentence says, the machine is making a noise. Now, pay attention to the subject. What is the subject there? The machine. Very good. The machine. Now, what is the proper pronoun for that? The answer is it. Very good. That is why we use the be verb is. Okay? So, the machine is making a noise. We can actually also say it is making a noise. Or the construction, it's making a noise. And that is referring to the machine. It is making a noise. Okay? And the last sentence, Billy and Bule are speaking English. So in this case, you'll notice that we use the be verb are. Can you figure it why? That's because Billy and Bule, the subject pronoun for these two is they. Okay? So they are speaking English. Okay? So that is the first usage of the present continuous tense. Action happening now. Moving on, let's move forward to the next usage. Usage number 2, longer actions in progress. The present continuous tense is also used to describe a longer action in progress, even though you might not be doing that action right now. Let's take a look at some examples. The first sentence says, I'm reading an interesting book these days. So in this case, the subject is I. So the be verb is am. Okay? In this example, we use the construction I'm by putting I and am together. Again, you'll notice that there is an ing after the verb. Move forward to the next example. The next sentence says, you are studying to become an English teacher. Now we can see that the subject here is you. Therefore, the be verb that we will use is are. Let us take this another example. Phoebe is preparing for the LET exam. The subject here is Phoebe, which is a she. Therefore, we use the be verb is. Okay? And the last sentence says, Cherry and Mary are working at a company. If you look at the subject, Cherry and Mary, the pronoun for that is they. That's why we use the be verb are. That makes they are working at a company. Let's move on to the next usage. Usage number 3. Near near future plans or events. The present continuous is also used to talk about near future plans. Let's take a look at these examples so that we can understand it better. Alfredine is meeting some friends tonight. In the sentence, we use present continuous tense to describe the future actions of Alfredine, which is meeting friends, which is a near future plan. To form the present continuous tense for near future plans, we use the present tense of the verb. For example, the be verb am, is, are, to be followed by the present participle by adding ing, form of the verb that describes the action. So in this case, is the present tense of the be verb, and meeting is the present participle form of the verb meet. Now to sum up, we use the present continuous tense to talk about near future plans or events. And we form it by using the present tense of the be verb followed by the present participle form of the verb that describes the action. And for us to further understand this, let us take a look some more examples. The next example says, we are going on an island vacation in August. The subject here is we. Therefore, we use the be verb are. We can also use a contraction and say, we're going on an island vacation in August. Again, it's another near future plan. And the last example, Jessa and I are teaching English next month. Jessa and I, if we think about the subject pronoun, is we. That's why we used are. We are teaching. So we can learn here that in addition to describing actions happening right now or over a longer period, the present continuous tense can also be used to talk about plans or actions that are scheduled or intended to take place in the near future. Just like the example that we used a while ago, Alfredine is meeting some friends tonight. Although the action of meeting has not yet happened, we use the present continuous tense to talk about the near future plan. Similarly, we can also use the present continuous tense to talk about events or plans that are scheduled or intended to happen soon, such as we are going on an island vacation on August. So to summarize, the present continuous tense is not only used to talk about actions happening right now or over a longer period, but it can also be used to describe near future plans or scheduled events. Now let's talk about the negative form of the present continuous tense. I have some examples here. These two examples are for actions that are happening right now or longer actions, and the other two are for near future plans. The first sentence says, I am not having fun. The negative form of the present continuous tense is used to express that something is not happening at the moment or in the near future. For example, in the sentence, I am not having fun. We use the negative form of the present continuous tense to say that the person is not having fun right now. Now, to form the negative form of the present continuous tense, we use the word not. We use the word not in between the present tense of the verb or the be verb am, is, or are, and the present participle by adding ing form of the verb that describes the action. So for example, in that sentence, I am not having fun. Am is the present tense of the be verb and having is the present participle form of the verb have. So to simply put, we use the negative form of the present continuous tense to say that something is not happening at the moment or in the near future. And we form it by placing the word not in between the present tense of the be verb and the present participle form of the verb that describes the action. In the second example, it says here, Shani isn't doing her homework. Here, we use the construction isn't for is not. So, just like the first sentence, we put not in between is and verb I plus ing. Okay? Let's proceed to the next usage. Now, let's talk about how to form be-verb questions in present continuous tenses. The first example here says, is he waiting for you? Or is she waiting for you? To form questions using the present continuous tense with the be verb, we start with the be verb to be followed by the subject and then the present participle verb with ing. For example, is he waiting for you or is she waiting for you? The be verb changes depending on the subject. For example, is used with he or she and are is used with they or we. You can answer with yes or no response, okay? Followed by the appropriate form of the be verb and the present participle verb. You can answer yes, he is, or no, he isn't. Now the second sentence says, are you coming to class? The subject here is you, and that's why we start with are. Are you coming to class? Lastly, the last question says, are they going out tonight? The subject here is they, and so we start with are. You can respond to that question, yes, they are, or no, they aren't. Okay, let's move on to the other usage. Now, let's talk about the WH question form for the present continuous tense. I have some examples here. In the present continuous tenses, we can also form questions using WH words such as what, when, where, who, why, and how. The structure for forming a WH question in the present continuous tense is as follows. First, you have to put the WH word to be followed by be verb and then the subject and then the verb with ing. So for example, what are you doing? Or where are you going? These questions are used to ask about actions or events happening right now. You can respond by saying, I'm teaching English. I'm studying English right now. Where are you going? You can respond by saying, I'm going to the store. I'm going to school. I'm going to church. When is it starting? It's starting at 3 o'clock. Or the other questions like, why is she crying? She is crying because she's sad. And lastly, how is it going? It is going well. So class, that is all for the usage of present continuous tense. I know English learning can be difficult, but with practice and effort, you will improve. Speaking of practice and improve, let us take some time to answer this activity that I prepared. Okay? So the instruction would be, fill in the blanks with the correct form of the present continuous tense. And then, choose the correct verb tense based on the context of the sentence. So for example, I blank watch a movie right now. So what do you think is the answer? The answer is I'm watching. So I am watching a movie right now. And for your assignment class, you will be tasked to write a present continuous short story or present continuous tense story. wherein you will write a short story using the present continuous tense. The story can be about anything you like, as long as it uses the present continuous tense. And of course, minimum of 500 words. So thank you class for participating. Once again, this is your teacher, Mara J. Pinky and Son, and see you in our next meeting. Have a great day ahead. Okay, goodbye and thank you, Grade 10 Dandelions.